So here we are in the shed on a Sunday afternoon. This is your bog standard penny stove. What I found quite interesting is where people put the holes in their penny stove. I've tried them along the top of this ridge here, which works quite well. That obviously means you can't actually stand anything on top of it, because that's where the stand is. I've seen them further down on the sides, which means that the flames flare up the side, which is useless. So I've squeezed these as tight as I can. You can see that, tight as I can up against the base. I looked for a long time for a stainless steel mug that would have folding handles, so you could store it easily away. And I came across this one in Wells next to sea when we were on holiday, which is one of the best ones I've seen so far. Also, it's got a little bit of a rim underneath. You can see an indentation there, which is quite useful if you're standing it on a stove, because it stops it rolling around. Some are really flat and they slide around, but this one is especially useful for what I'm going to show you today. I've made a variety of little stoves out of aerosol cans like these, which is just a hair mousse can. I'll maybe show you how to do these on another time, but you basically take the bottom off and take the top off, and you do away with this middle bit, and you turn the top upside down into there, and you get that, and then put some holes around the edge, and they work very well. But what I found is in the cold, because it needs actually to be hot, obviously the meths or denatured alcohol, whatever you use, that needs to boil. When you put a pot on one of those, if it's cold water and it's especially cold, there's a cold transfer. Physicists will tell you what it is, but there's a cold transfer that goes down. It actually cools the pot and puts the fire out. And there's a similar problem with a penny stove. So I've come up with something that will alleviate that, and it will also lift the pot up above, further away from the flame, so that you can actually catch the hottest part of the flame. And this is a right guard aerosol, which actually came from that big, just a normal right guard deodorant thing. And because it's too big, I've cut it and then just pop riveted it. It's not the tidiest thing in the world, but it works well. So that will go exactly in there, like so. Again, these I think I got about 8 of these for £1 from the pound shop. So I put the meths in these now, and they seem to work really well. Just fire it in the middle there, down the hole of the penny stove. I just got this on the top of an old tin top. Now, one thing that is difficult to do, let's put the top on that and get that out of the way, is to light a stove holding a camera. So let's see how she goes. Just need to get the meths around the outside to prime it, so that these when it vaporizes, these jets will ignite. What I've found to my expense is that you need to get a pot on. I actually don't think this right guard one's as bad, because the gauge of the aluminium is a bit thicker. But I know with other ones I've tried, if you leave this top unprotected, you get the hottest part of the flame come up through there, and it actually melts the aluminium. So it's a good idea to get the pot on as soon as possible, and keep the top rim of the aluminium cool. Okay, it's going well now. It does burn a little bit wild. There's a lot of you see a lot of the flames up here are wasted, but with a cup this big and the amount of meth that you actually use, it doesn't matter really. I mean, obviously in the outdoors you need to put a windshield around here, but you can see the bottom of the cup is actually being caught by the hottest part of the flame, which is really good. And in just a shade over 3 minutes we get a nice boiling cup of water. And the best way to put this out is make sure nobody's standing on the other side and just give it a quick that's it, and it's out. And it's important that you put it out before you take the cup off, because if you take the cup off you're likely to melt the top of your aluminium. And the beauty of all this stuff is that there's so many sizes available of all this kit that everything's all interchangeable, it all fit in each other. So there's the penny stove that I used just. That goes into my pot. My pot stand, that also goes in there. I've got a little atom stove that again will boil a pot. That will slip into there. And if I want the option of using if I want to go into the woods and use wood to burn on, you know, my cup will all slide into there. So that's all pretty well ready to go. So it's great. I love fitting stuff together and seeing how it all works. But it takes up a lot less room than a Trangia, that's for sure. Just thought I'd show you the other test. What I've done previously, I haven't bothered putting a penny in the hole in the middle, but now I've just dropped the rivet in there, which has pressurised it a little bit more. I'm not sure whether it's better or not really. The flames aren't as high. I guess I'd have to do a test against the clock. Maybe we'll do that later. But that's the difference. That's when it's fully pressurised.